Welcome to On Purpose Ministries, where we, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, help you, my brothers and sisters, find your purpose so you can live in purpose, walk with purpose, and do everything on purpose. I'm your sister Rashida, and we welcome you. So, Shalom, family. I pray all is well. This is a word about kingdom marriage from the movie Princess and the Frog. So please examine the word and return everything to the Father so he can further speak to you regarding your situation. So let's jump right into this word, starting with the notes I took while watching the movie. And then as I go along, I will explain the revelation the Father has given me concerning this movie, The Princess and the Frog. So this movie came out in 2009, which in the Greek Strong Concordance means punishment. In Hebrew Strongs, it means to behold, to see. The movie was 1 hour and 42 minutes, which in Greek Strongs means to lift, to take up, or take away. In Hebrew Strongs, it means magnificent, honorable, and glorious. At the beginning of the movie, you have Tiana, her friend, the princess, and her mother reading the story about the princess and the frog. Now, as Tiana is listening to this story, she thought that that could never be her. I will never put myself through that. I will never kiss a frog. Just like many of you, what you're going through now, what you have been through on this journey, I bet you probably never thought you would have gone through something like this. Not for love, anyways. You never thought you would end up in a story that you only read about, heard about, or seen. You shouldn't think it. You didn't think that it would be you. As the mother reads the story, she gets to the part where the frog says, "Only a kiss from you can break the spell that was inflicted on me by a wicked witch." Now keep that part in mind as we go along. So the kiss from the princess transformed the frog back into a prince. They were married and lived happily ever after. That was the end of the story. Now, that's the story that was told. But how many of you know that God gives you the ending in the beginning? Through all of this was told to though all of this was told to Tiana, and she ended up being on this journey. Her story didn't quite go as she had read it. Just like many of you, God gave you this promise and he told you all of these great things that he would do regarding it, but he skipped the middle. He didn't let you see all you will go through to get there. He just let you know that when you got there, when you get to where you're going, it will be good, it will be great, it will be magnificent, it will be honorable, it will be glorious. But it hasn't happened the way you expected it to happen. You had this fairy tale idea of what this journey would be, just like Princess Tiana. But as you got further on your journey, you found out that that was not the case. Although you may have what seems like a fairy tale ending, the journey to it seemed more like a nightmare. When you look at Princess Tiana and Prince Naveen's upbringing, they had different lifestyles. The things that she had access to, he didn't. The things that he had access to, she didn't. She grew up with support, a hardworking father and mother. She grew up in a community. She didn't have the riches, but she had love. The prince grew up popular with riches and fame, and he was used to everything being handed to him. So he didn't have to work for anything. He was used to women throwing themselves at him, but he didn't have that intimate time with his parents like Tiana did because his parents was the king and queen. Women threw themselves at him, but it was all for the wrong reasons. He didn't grow up around genuine love and support like Tiana did. People around him always had motives, just like you and your spouse. You may have had the same upbringing. The things that were, you may have not had the same upbringing. The things that were instilled in you might not have been instilled in them. The things you have had to go through, They may have never had to deal with it, and vice versa. The morals and values you have, they may not share those same morals and values. So what the Father is saying is show a little grace. Don't be upset that they don't move like you do, that they don't respond to certain situations like you do, that they don't know how to respond to you, that they don't think like you do. Take in consideration that maybe they weren't brought up like you were. Maybe they don't have the same hustle as you. Maybe they don't have the same faith as you. Maybe they don't have a relationship with God like you do. God says, show grace and take these things into consideration. Y'all don't come from the same family tree. You have no idea what it was like on their upbringing or how they was brought up besides what they probably had shared with you, but you were not there. Just like you had no idea what was on your bloodline until God showed you. Take in consideration that what's in their bloodline might not be as devastating as what is in yours. It may not be as easy to overcome come as yours has. Not saying yours was easy because it was not easy at all, but theirs may be more difficult to overcome the strongholds in the covenants that's on their bloodline that you may not even be aware of. You came from two different walks of life. So how you respond may be different because we find ourselves saying things like, well, I would never do a person like they do me. I could never be in a relationship I'm not happy in. I could never put myself in that situation. Just because you could never doesn't mean they would never. They weren't raised like you and you don't know what they've been through to make them respond this way, to make them behave this way, for them to be okay with the mess they're in. And who says they're okay anyways? Just because it looks like that on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay in the inside. I can think of many times when I wasn't okay, but nobody around me knew I wasn't okay because I put on a good performance. Just consider these things and may the Most High God soften your heart concerning your spouse. May He make you more sensitive in the spirit as He continue to give you revelation and insight and clarity concerning these things. I want you to look at Tiana's dad as the Heavenly Father, someone she admired and looked up to, the one who taught her what she knew, the one she spent her life working hard trying to fit in his shoes, trying to impress him, trying to make sure his dreams came true. This dream of owning this restaurant was her father's dream. So, and she worked overtime, and that's what you look at, the restaurant also represents the dream, the vision that was given. She worked overtime doing what she could to make her father's vision come true. She worked two jobs and barely had time to hang out with her friends. She wasn't even thinking about a relationship. She was focused on getting this business, getting this dream, this vision done. So she was focused on getting this building for her restaurant so that her father's dream and hers can come true. She was ambitious, committed, and dedicated to the dream. Just like you have worked overtime with praying, fasting, reading, and dedicating your time to the Father. You have turned down many fun activities just to spend time with Him, and many opportunities just to focus on the dream that He gave you, doing whatever you could to make this dream come true, to bring this promise to pass. But just like Tiana, you had your struggles along the way. You've been so focused on getting to the end that you forgot to enjoy the in between. You forgot to enjoy life. You missed out on a lot of excitement being isolated and closed in, thinking the Father only wanted you to focus on getting this building. He only wanted you to focus on this dream, on this promise that He has given you. When He really wanted you to focus on you, He still wanted you to enjoy your life. He never wanted you to stop living. Her father told her that she had a gift that had to be shared, but He made her promise him one thing, and that was that she would never lose sight of what's important, which is you. God never wanted you to lose sight of you, but to allow Him to transform you, to renew you, allow Him to let you see you on this journey, things that you wasn't even aware about concerning yourself, things that you didn't even know that you were dealing with, that you were struggling with. You are important to God. Just like your spouses, you are important to God too. He never wanted you to get lost in the promise, in the dream, in the vision, in the building, to where you're watching daily to check for signs to see if it's coming, to see if anything has changed, to overwork yourself to the point where you forget to live. You don't have any fun because you're so focused on getting this building that you forgot to enjoy the moment. God said, I never wanted you to lose sight of you. Fall is a season of preparation, restoration, and reconciliation. Yes, but it's also a season of God pouring into you, where He wants you to pour into yourself, where He wants you to fall in love with yourself. He is restoring things to you and reconciling relationships for you that has nothing to do with you and your spouse. You fall back in love with yourself. He is going to help you get the building. Right now, He needs you to focus on building you. Work on those insecurities that you have. Some of you have fear regarding sexual relations with your spouse. God says, let's work on that. Some of you suffer with low self-esteem, and God needs you to be confident in who you are in Him and who He has created you to be. He said, let's work on that. He never wanted you to lose sight of you, to lose sight of Him and think that you had to do all of this work by yourself. She was working hard towards this vision that she forgot to live, and she was burnt out. You have done the work that was required of you. Let God finish the work in you while He does the same in your spouse. Rest, my child, for the work I started in you is already finished. Just trust me. The building you're working hard to purchase already has your name written on it. So relax, enjoy the moment, and live, because they sure never stopped. She just wanted to make her dad proud, not knowing she already did, not knowing you already had. You don't know just how proud the Father is of you. The transformation alone has been remarkable. Celebrate your wins, celebrate your victories. You have Tiana coming in from work, not having much time to do anything else before her next shift. And I want to point out this song that she sings through this movie, which is Almost There. So let's take a look at the lyrics. The song starts off with her singing, Mama, I don't have time for dancing. When you look at people that's dance, you look at that as a moment of celebration. And she said, I don't have time to dance. I don't have time to celebrate, because she was too busy focused on getting this building. You were too busy focused on getting this promise, the end goal, that you can't even celebrate, that you can't even enjoy the moments that you have now. You're saying, I don't have time to dance. So it says, that's just going to have to wait a while. Ain't got time for messing around, and it's not my style. This old town can slow you down. People taking the easy way, but I know exactly where I'm going. I'm getting closer and closer every day, and I'm almost there. I'm almost there. People down here think I'm crazy, but I don't care. Trials and tribulations, I've had my share. There ain't nothing gonna stop me now, 'cause I'm almost there. I remember Daddy told me fairy tales can't come true. You gotta make them happen. It all depends on you. So I work real hard each and every day. Now things for sure are going my way. Just doing what I do. Look out, boys, I'm coming through, and I'm almost there. I'm almost there. People gonna come here from everywhere, and I'm almost there. I'm almost there. There's been trials and tribulations. You know, I've had my share, but I've climbed a mountain. I've crossed a river, and I'm almost there. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. You see, she was so focused on seeing results that she forgot to live, to enjoy the moment. Sure, things were happening for her, but it doesn't matter if it cost you your peace, if it cost you your health, if it jeopardized your life. You can have all of the success, the riches in the world, but it doesn't matter if you have no peace with it, if you're not happy with it. Don't be pouring so much into things of this world that you lose sight of yourself, that you forget to live. It doesn't matter if God brings you this marriage promise right now. If you can't be happy on your own, if you don't know how to enjoy your own company, if your cup is empty, how can you pour into this building when God gives it to you? So I see a bus with the numbers 113 and a sign that says voodoo, with something the Father has been speaking to me heavily about regarding sorcery is voodoo, black magic, and witchcraft is some of the main ones he has spoken. But this one is about voodoo. And 113 in Greek strong means criminal, wicked, and lawless. In Hebrew, it means to rule, control, human or divine, to be a master. So Tiana was facing a lot trying to get this building. Even the man she worked with told her it would never happen for her. How many people have whispered in your ears? Are you sure God told you that? You sure God told you that was your spouse? Are you sure you're hearing God right? When God told you to quit your job and people judged you because they didn't understand, or He told you to move and people judged you because they didn't understand, or they didn't want to see it happen for you. There have been people sent along your journey to discourage you, to try to stop you from doing everything that God has told you to do. Some was sent straight from Satan to do his bid. You had to face many distractions and obstacles like Tiana. But just like her, you didn't allow it to stop you. You kept going. And God sees that. He hasn't forgotten about you. He is handing you the keys to that building. But before He does, He wants you to enjoy being you. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your own company. Live a little in a righteous way. Enjoy these moments you have left being single or separated because you will soon be busy working together for His kingdom. When Tiana finally got what she needed to get the building, someone else came along and tried to snatch it from her. Now she had just a few days to get the money to outbid the person for what was supposed to be hers. She even got a chance to walk inside the building and look around, pay attention. She had access to the building, but the owners, those who are in control or think they are, were threatening to give it to the higher bidder. Some of you already have access to your building. You already have access to the promise. But there is still a threat that has yet to be dealt with, and the fear of them taking what you worked so hard for plagues your mind. God says, rest assured, the building is yours. None will be able to take it this time. Not away from you, not again. It ain't happening. Rest your mind. Stop letting negative thoughts take control. Also, I wanted to mention when she walked through that building, it needed a lot of work. Pay attention to what I'm saying. When she walked through it, it wasn't in perfect condition. It wasn't until she came together with her king that they would work on this building together, which is the marriage. It was not perfect. It wasn't in perfect condition, but the building was still standing. It still had the frame. It still had the foundation, but what was on the inside of the building, the structure, it still needed to be worked on. There's still work left to do when you come together. There will be plenty of work for you to do together, and that's why God wants you to focus on you because you won't be doing this building alone. So the prince's parents cut him off. It wasn't because they didn't love him. It was because they wanted him to do better. He was sleeping around with many women, living riotously like the prodigal son, and wasted his substance. So they cut off access to everything he had. He had a choice to either marry a rich woman or get a job. Those were the only two options he faced with being out of the will of his parents. As he was trying to figure out what to do, that's when Shadow Man comes and hand him the card that had tarot readings, charms, portions, and dreams written on it. Shadow Man consults his friends from the other side, these demons and evil spirits, to assist him. All the prince wanted was freedom, but Shadow Man gave him all these promises of how he could make it happen. He said, "Shake my hand," which means the deal was sealed. As soon as he shook his hand, he was sitting in the chair, trapped by a snake holding him down. He looked terrified and tried to shake loose, but couldn't. Just like in the Get Out movie breakdown, when Rosie's mother tricked Chris into sitting in that chair and trapped him. It was too late then, and then they had to fight to regain their freedom from these demons and evil spirits when they were searching for freedom in the first place. The prince was turned into a frog. He was transformed into another form. While trapped in that chair, his destiny was swapped. His destiny was swapped, and his soul was trapped by the man who worked for him, who wanted his life. Understand what's being said. They were promised all of these things. And just like how Joseph was promised these things, and David, and how they had people around when they was promised these things, or they shared it with people, people will not always be happy for you when they see where the Father is trying to take you. But they was presented with these things that at the time seemed to fit their dreams. Understand what I'm saying? That seemed to match their goals, that felt like the right direction by these evil people around them, not just the romantic counterfeit relationships that people focus so much on, but other counterfeit relationships as well, because anybody who could benefit from them being trapped played a part in it. Just like in the Get Out, how the family all played a part in it because they all benefit from his destiny being swapped, from his soul being trapped in another man, which is another spirit or spirits living in him. They all benefit from him. They said in the Get Out movie that he will still be alive, the body will still be his, but he will be as a passenger. He wouldn't have free will, and he would no longer be in control. Another person, another spirit, another deity will be controlling him. He would just be there. So they were surrounded by people full of evil spirits who wanted their souls trapped, who wanted the life that God had for them, who didn't want to see this promise come to pass because they knew what it meant for them. Many of their own family members played a major part in assisting these witches and warlocks with trapping their souls because of the hate they had for them, just like Joseph brothers who wanted him dead. I want you to see the Tiana's friend that they weren't even really close. They grew up together because Tiana's mother worked for the princess' father. But see her as a representation of a counterfeit who ended up in the relationship with what she assumed was Prince Naveen, but it was his worker, which represents demons and evil spirits that are operating through the body. Um, but was the one using his body, the friend, to carry out the will. The entire time she thought she had the real thing. The princess thought she had the real thing, but was only getting the counterfeit version or the imposter of who this man was. The real him wasn't even present. So while you're battling with doubt, fears, and insecurities of this counterfeit relationship, you don't even realize they're not getting anything from it. You had to use sorcery to make someone love you who will never really love you because the connection is not genuine. So while you're thinking they're getting everything from your spouse that you're supposed to get, is not what it seems. It's not what you think. They're not getting nothing from it at all. The only satisfaction that these evil spirits are getting is knowing that they have their soul tied, knowing that they have swapped their destiny, knowing that they are doing the will of their father, the devil. That's the only satisfaction in the promises that was made to them for carrying out that will. The real them is not even present, the spouse, meaning they could never be themselves with them how they were with you or how they will be. Although they may be present with them in the physical, mentally, Their hearts is not there. Remember, they are moving as passengers. They're getting the counterfeit version. They have never and will never experience the love that your spouse has for you. Pay attention to how they were brought together, how Prince Naveen and Tiana were brought together. This will help somebody. So Tiana and Prince Naveen came together because they both needed something from each other. He needed her to kiss him so he could be transformed back to himself. She needed his financial assistance to get the building. So they agreed to help each other, not knowing that it would take them on this journey together of self discovery. They started off being irritated by each other, which quickly turned into friends. It turned into a friendship and then lovers. Remember, from the Lilo and Stitch word and the Just Right word, friends before lovers. You don't know how God is going to bring this together, but how you connect or reconnect, you both will mutually benefit from that connection. That connection will take you both on a journey together where you help them find themselves in Christ and they show you the importance of unity because you have walked this journey alone for so long. You will both benefit from this connection. On this journey, Tiana had the real version, while the princess got this fake image of Prince Naveen. It was a chain around Prince Naveen worker's neck that allowed him to stay in Prince Naveen's body. But this necklace wouldn't fully work unless it had Tiana's blood in it, and they had a time limit to get it done. Understand this, they need your participation to make this work. How can two walk together unless they agree? They need you to quit so they can carry out their plans. It takes two. That's why it's been so hard for you when they were on the journey together to seek help to undo the spells that they both were under. They were attacked the entire time. Everyone was after them for their own greedy gain. You're not the only one going through it. Trust me, they're getting it worse because they're out of the Father's will. When the shadow man, the witch doctor, saw that his powers wasn't working, he called on his friends from the other side. Demons and evil spirits more powerful than he was on his own. So he made all of these promises to these demons. And you know the devil comes to collect. So he summons them to capture the prince and Tiana. They wanted the both of you. That's why it has been so difficult because they need both of you to make this work. Excuse me, I have to get something to drink because I'm over coughing and excuse me, just 1 second, please. They need both of you to make this work. During their time as friends, Tiana made him want to change his ways. Listen, during the friendship, not the relationship, but during the friendship, she made him want to change his ways. At first, he wasn't thinking about settling down. He was after money and chasing girls. He was after his own selfish desires. When they go visit this woman, she tells them they have to find out what they need, that they had to dig deeper. During this friendship, he fell in love with Tiana and no longer was worried about marrying for money. The things that he was once concerned about, he was no longer worried about those things because she made him change his ways. His mind changed to focusing on doing what he needed to do to make her dreams come true, which is the dream represents the promise. So they mind was changed from focusing on self to focus on that come and go goal, which is the marriage promise that God has given you, to focus on doing what they need to do to make it come true, to bring it to pass. Remember, they would come back willing and with a made up mind. So he wasn't interested in settling for money or for like your spouse. They're not interested in settling for the benefits that they once got or thought they had from these counterfeit relationships. He said, I will find another way to get her what she wants. He was willing to sacrifice to see her dreams come true. They will be willing to sacrifice to see this promise come to pass. He tried to tell her how he felt, but was interrupted. Remember those dreams of the counterfeit standing in the way, the demonic interference, but she was too distracted by the building that she interrupted him before he could speak. He ends up being captured by these demons. So Ray, their mutual friend, ends up stepping in to tell Tiana what Prince Naveen tried to say but never got the chance to before he was captured. So she goes looking for him, and look at that as also of Holy Spirit's journey and all the revelation that God has given you on this journey concerning your marriage, how your spouse may have never gotten a chance to say what they needed to say before they were captured, but somebody else stepped up to tell you, whether it's prophetic words, whether it's dreams and revelation that God has given you to speak and show you what they have been trying to say this whole time, but you were too distracted by the building. You were too focused on when it's going to happen, how it's going, that you couldn't hear, that you couldn't see what the Holy Spirit has been saying this whole entire time. That's been telling you that, hey, this person loves you, they care about you, but because how it looks on the outside, it has been hard or difficult for you to accept or believe that any of that was true. So she goes looking for him and no longer was focused on this building. She didn't care what happened. She just wanted to be with him. So I had a dream that I was sharing one of these other words, but be expecting those around to step in. And don't be surprised if family members or people around them who you haven't talked to in a while reaches out before they do. God is putting you on the hearts of men. The destiny helpers are stepping in. While this marriage was about to take place between the princess and this counterfeit, this imposter, the prince was locked in a cage while the imposter was about to get married to the princess. Listen, as the prince was escaping, the evil forces haunted him, just like in the Get Out movie when Chris was escaping out of the house, how Rosie came out behind him to try to take his life. Just like Pharaoh did when the children of Israel escaped. Remember, pray against demonic interference and retaliation spirits, that they be free from the consequences of these covenants. So as these demonic forces hunted him while was escaping, he had others fighting for him and he wasn't even aware of it. The destiny helpers are en route. While they're running for their lives, Tiana and what is it? Prince Naveen was both running because the Shadow Man was after her, while his friends from the other side were after Prince Naveen. But while your spouse is running for their life, God is putting people in position to bring them home safely. He just wants you to keep praying. So the Shadow Man saw that he was running out of time. So he tried to convince Tiana to take the bribe, to give him the necklace so he could seal the deal. He made her all these promises, just like he did Prince Naveen in the beginning. Showed her visions of how hard her dad worked and never got to enjoy it, and she could have it all if she just handed over the necklace, if she just walked away from the prince. They need your participation. Every time you speak against it, you're participating. Every time you act against it, you're participating. Every time you think against it, you're participating. Every time you quit or you walk away, you're participating. Stop participating. You're the key to bringing this all to pass. So he shows her what her life could be like if she walked away, just like Jesus. I mean, yeah, when Jesus was out there on, was it the mountain? I'm not sure, but when Satan tempted him and told him, I could give you the world. The same way with this temptation, how many of you, the enemy has tempted with showing you how your life could be if you wasn't on this journey, how much better your life would be if you wasn't dealing with this, how comfortable Egypt was, reminding you of your past and how things were before you came on this journey, how it could all be so much better if you just walked away. You could have everything that you want. trying to make you feel like you could get all of this outside of what God has promised you. He tried to deceive her in giving up on her promise, on the vision, on the dream, but she refused and she broke the necklace, which represents the spell that Prince was put under. It was her who broke the spell. And I also want to mention when she broke that spell by breaking that necklace, he was still a fraud. That's revelation for somebody because you're looking for a certain thing to take place to be evident that God did what he said he was going to do. He was still a fraud when she broke the spell. So don't think that your fasting and your praying and your suffering was all for nothing. The spell can be broken and they can still be a fraud. Remember, they not covered back perfect. That's why you have to see with your spiritual eyes. So it is you who God has used as a vessel to carry out his will on earth. Your prayers, your tears, your affliction, your suffering, fasting, sacrifices, all of it was not for nothing. That's how the spell was broken through all that you have done. But just because you still see a fraud doesn't mean it did not work. Your refusal to quit or settle is what's breaking or has broken the spell. The time was up and the devil came to collect, excuse me. So the friends from the other side, these demons and evil spirits took Shadow Man, and the man who was pretending to be the prince, who was the imposter, was arrested. Everything these people have done, they will pay for it. They will have to answer for it. It will backfire, but it's not on you to do anything. God is fighting for you. Do not engage in war. Pray against these spirits and strongholds, but you keep going. It's time for you to enjoy your life while God finishes what he needs to do in them. The entire time he thought if he just, and I also just want to mention this. Don't be like Princess Tiana, who thinks that if she took her eyes off the vision, that she would somehow lose the building. If she didn't work so hard to get it, and if she enjoyed her life and she enjoyed her time, that she would somehow lose it. And some of you think if I don't focus on them, if I'm not watching them, if I don't do this, I don't want to disconnect from them. I don't want to hide from them. I want to always be there because if I do that, I fear that I might lose them. You have to let that go and let God be God. He says, move out the way and let him finish the work that he has begun in them. That's just the trick of the enemy that's playing with your mind to make you feel that way. But you have to let it go so God can take him or her the rest of the way. So the entire time he thought if he just had a kiss, it would be what he needed to get what he wanted. Your spouse has thought the entire time that if they just had these things, all the things that was promised to them, that they will be fulfilled. But now they are feeling empty. They are feeling everything that has been hidden, the emotions that's been hidden because remember they was operating as passengers. So they wasn't able to feel everything. They wasn't really able to grasp everything that was taking place because it felt good, it looked good, it sounded good. So understand it. Same with her. It wasn't a kiss, but them coming into agreement is what transformed them both. Not the spell being broken, but them coming into agreement. The marriage is what did it. Your marriage has purpose. It has meaning, and it's a reason why it has been so difficult. But God is putting destiny helpers en route. You think you're fighting alone, but you can't even see how many are fighting for you and with you and your for your spouse to bring this all together. You don't even know that you don't even understand that they're praying for you too. Even though in the midst of confusion or whatever it is they're dealing with, they're still praying that God protects you. They're still praying for you. They're still considering you. So what you think you need and what they think they need, you will find out you won't find it outside of each other. It will be found in this union. It has purpose. It's a package deal. You can tell God all you want, just give me this or that. I don't even have to have them. No, ma'am. No, sir. It's a package deal. Remember, the prince was looking for money because he was broke, and Tiana was looking for money for her building, not realizing that all they needed was found in each other. Whatever you're looking for, searching for, is found in this union. When they got married, they came together and got the building. His parents came back around and gave him his inheritance once they saw that he was doing right and he married well. The friend moved out the way. Once she realized she had the counterfeit version the entire time and that he, the real version, would never love her. People will see the love that they have for you and know it's nothing they can do to stop them from loving you. And trust me, they have tried it all. Some will move willingly out the way, and others will be forced. Either way, they will be moved because time is up. They have had all the time to do what they wanted to do. So that's it for this word. I pray it blesses whoever it is for. Please stay encouraged, stay in your field. Shalom.